Hello viewers, as a part of our video series on nation building, I met Dr. V.K.Saraswat, member NITI Aayog, who is in charge of innovation mission of Government of India under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. And I discussed on CSR and innovation mission with an objective of reviving Indian ancient culture of innovation which was in India. He has very interesting things to say. Please listen on. Dr. I'm proud to have an opportunity to meet you leading the mission of innovation in the country, which is on a land which is known for its innovation and knowledge creation. India's soil is known for creation of knowledge in the country, in the whole world, including mathematics, space science, nuclear science, all host of activities. But today, recreating the same old culture is a challenge. How good or bad has been the experience of recreating the innovation culture?
Yeah, it's very strong background of Indian innovation system, as you have mentioned, right from the invention of zero to our great Vedas, in which we have the incidence of a variety of innovations in the field of medicine, surgery, language, mathematics, and so on, astronomy. Today we have come to a stage that our innovation index in the global network is around 57 out of 143 countries. This is the situation. Fortunately, over the last 4 years, there has been a significant improvement in this. In 2015, we were around 85. Then we came to 76. Last year we were about 60, and today we are 57.
Fast change.
So there has been a change, and it's a fairly good change. Now, why is this innovation system decline? That is more important.
That is a critical question.
The most important thing, our innovation system having declined, the reasons are many. One of the first reason for our decline in the innovation is our education system. Education system, which was the modern education system, which was put in place by Lord Macaulay in 1863. It had only one intention: to create Indian students with a face of Indians, but with a mentality of British. And that mentality was basically to create people who could do clerical jobs in the country and only provide some assistance to the kings in those days, which are the Britishers, to do their business in this country. That was the first and the foremost reason why our innovation skills declined. And that's why such institutions like Takshila and Nalanda and all that, it was the hub of education in once upon a time, were reduced to zero. And today we have an education system which is nothing but the legacy of the British system. So this is one reason. Second thing is, when we created infrastructure, having missed out this industrial revolution, having missed out on many other inventions that took place during the industrial revolution, because of the British rule and the Mughal rule and all that, we did not have the necessary ecosystem to create knowledge. Now, today's innovation is knowledge based. It's a knowledge economy.
Knowledge economy is the next phase of revolution.
Yeah. So this is the knowledge economy. So if you have seen now, since the second industrial revolution till now today, we are running in the sixth wave of innovation today. The first innovation wave, the second innovation wave, the third innovation wave, the fourth innovation wave. We have seen at least something of the fourth innovation wave, which came to chemicals, fertilizers, electronics, and all that. The fifth innovation wave was completely dedicated to communication, electronics, then internet, and so on. And now the sixth wave is completely different, which is green chemistry, biotechnology, bioengineering, bio-inspired technologies, and so on. Now, these are all knowledge-based innovations which are needed. So, having lost out on that education, due to poor education, our ecosystem did not grow. But fortunately, after 90s, when the ICT became one of our strongholds, information and communication technologies, there has been a significant growth. And also, post-independence, the institutions which we have set up in the country, namely the Department of Atomic Energy, Department of ISRO, Department of CSIR, Department of Defense R&D, all these departments became the hub of innovation. And that's why our index today 57, because we have made a tremendous improvement in the ICT enabled services as well as in the areas of spatial strategic science and technology areas. But in spite of all that, there are barriers to our innovation even today. One of the major barriers in our innovation is knowledge gap. Number 2, infrastructure. Number 3, our tendency to not to take risk.
Yeah, that's a major.
We are a risk-averse society.
Yeah.
We are a risk-averse society. Number 4 is our industrial revolution was based upon imported technologies. It was not based upon homegrown technologies, except in few departments which I mentioned, space, atomic energy and defense. The rest of the departments, whether it was the thermal power engineering or it was power plants or steel plants or pharmaceutical industries or any of them, it was mostly based upon imported technologies. Even today it continues to be so. And as a result, we are not able to do innovation in these areas because we have been fed with the imported technology. And unfortunately, our engineers and scientists did not take these technologies further. It can happen. Generally, innovation can be done what is called incremental innovation. And in incremental innovation, you build on something which is already there. Yes. Already there. So this incremental innovation is now taking place. Slowly we are doing incremental innovation. But what we call as the creative innovation,
leapfrog development.
The leapfrog development, that is coming very slowly. It is not happening in a big way. So these are the reasons: education, poor infrastructure, knowledge gap, tendency not to take risk, and also borrowing technologies to have our industrial revolution. These are some of the factors which have not promoted innovation.
They are blocked innovation.
Blocked innovations.
You answered my second question by default. Atal innovation is initiated with all appropriate goals. What has been the experience, positive and negative, in implementing the vision till now?
Now, can you repeat the question?
Atal innovation vision.
Atal innovation, okay.
Is with the right kind of intentions.
Yes.
But what has been the experience in implementing them till now?
Atal Innovation Mission is a very progressive and novel way of doing innovation because this is focusing mainly on the grassroots innovation. We are taking the innovation from the schools. And we are taking from schools to colleges to universities and all to the national laboratories and industry. So the complete spectrum of the innovation scenario has been covered here. Now today Atal Innovation Mission with its tinkering labs, more than about 1,500 labs have been created in various schools, has resulted in children of the 7th class, 8th class, 9th class able to use technology like 3D printing, computers, electronics, and able to do very good work. They are able to make UAVs, they are able to make some software applications which are able to solve the problems of telemedicine and things like that. So we find that creating such an ecosystem in the schools with a mentoring system which is also being provided along with that has really helped improve the cause of innovation. Number 2, it created an ecosystem in schools. Now we are going from here small business innovation system, SBIR, which is like the American system, where we are now going to introduce this innovation into small scale industries, in the startups who are coming up with ideas to take up various areas in which they are in a position to create value and hence innovation.
Good. My next question, sir. Transferring technology from lab to land demands the use of management and marketing as two essential catalytic technologies. But this has been perennially neglected in India. Your comments?
You see, translating technology is a very major task.
Major challenge, yes.
First of all, developing technology itself is a major task.
Yeah, but then next is transferring.
So first is developing technology, and if you don't have a good technology base, innovation suffers.
Yeah.
You should have a good technology base for innovation to take place.
Yeah.
Now, there is a curve called innovation's life cycle.
Yes.
The innovation life cycle is in which a technology developer or an innovator gets an idea.
Yeah.
He first gets an idea, he broods over that idea and he says, yes, this can work. Then he further develops it. He does some experiments and he finds success in those experiments. So he gets very excited. He gets a height of imagination at that time. He gets enlightened. He is very good. He is at the top at that point in time. Excitement. In terms of technology, it will be only technology maturity level, maybe TRL 1, 2, 3. It doesn't go beyond that. Why I am linking these two? Because these two are the main joining factors. Now, at that point in time, he has to work on taking that concept which he has proven at some place into a larger scale. Now, when he does this, he has to repeat that performance. He has to modulate it. He has to upscale it. He finds it difficult. He is not in a position to do it. So he started falling down into what is called valley of death. When he gets into the valley of death, that is the point in time he needs support. He needs infrastructural support. He needs knowledge support. He needs financial support. He needs all this. If he gets all this from the innovation ecosystem, he will be able to translate it. But if he does not get that, and if he is alone struggling to solve all the problems, the probability of success is very low.
That lab stays in lab, not to the land.
So he does not go beyond that. By some chance, if he gets all these factors and he solves all of them, he goes into the path of enlightenment. After that, he comes to TRL level 4 or 5 or 6. He is able to reproduce.
TRL,
technology maturity level. So he comes to something like TRL 4. He has been able to reproduce. But even then, there is a small requirement. What is the requirement? He has to now scale it up so that it becomes visible to the industry. Now, industry, for it to be visible to industry and scaling up, he needs money. Capital is required. Now, most of the laboratories in the country are not able to provide that capital. So, the government funding is needed, venture capitalists are needed, angel investors are needed, who will help him in this process. Now, in our country, we find that many of these things are missing.
That ecosystem is also missing.
So, as a result, he is not able to translate that into market. This is one thing. Second thing is our universities, our educational institutions, our national laboratories. Even in these institutions, the mechanism to translate research into a scale at which it is visible to the industry is not there. And that's why they are not able to attract the industry to this. So what we had to do? We had to create in each of these institutions what is called value addition center. We have to create a value addition center which will be responsible for bridging the gap between the industry demand and the capability of the national laboratory or a university. So that gap should be filled by this value addition center.
Linking the two.
And this value addition center will not only fill the gap, when the innovation is in the valley of death, it will also support the innovator in terms of getting the angel investors, incubators, the venture capitalists, and also the other technologists to collaborate with him and pull him out of that valley of death so that he translates it into the market.
And doesn't fall prey to the tap
of this. So this is the thing which we need to set up in our system. If we have that, we will be able to translate more and more. Unfortunately, we don't have this mechanism. As a result, many of the technologies remain within the tabletop stage or maybe pilot scale, and they don't see the light of the market.
In this context, what are the possibilities you envisage from the support from CSR domain?
I think CSR can do a wonderful job because corporate social responsibility, if the corporates are in a position to provide necessary resources as a venture capitalist or angel investors
And also handholding agency.
When the innovation is at the valley of the death or is in a certain stage of innovation, then they will be in a position to pull him out of it. This will be one support. You can help them in creating the necessary infrastructure. For example, if CSR would like to help the Atal Tinkering Innovation Scheme in multiplying into more laboratory, into more schools and colleges, it could be one thing. The CSR can also help set up collaboration between a foreign agency and an Indian agency to support the cause of innovation. There are various methods in which CSR can do help. CSR can also, bring the industry and the universities together by bringing in common projects to work on that. So CSR has a tremendous role to play. You should come out of your regulatory mechanisms, what you have today, that you can't do CSR in a government institution, you can't, all that has to change. If you really want to do CSR to be helpful, there should be no boundaries.
That's true.
There should not be any boundaries.
There is an obvious role of collaboration among government, corporate, academia and NGOs for creating an optimum impact on the innovation scene in the country. How healthy is the environment in India to such multiple domain collaborations?
Yeah, in fact, today the number of schemes with the Department of Science and Technology has initiated and Government of India has initiated. For example, National Innovation Foundation, Atal Innovation Mission, the DST, the schemes where they are supporting the cause of various national laboratories where they can support research, knowledge generation, are fairly large. And the Department of Science and Technology and the NITI Aayog all are prioritizing areas in which innovation can take place. They are making the laboratories and the universities to work together. So there is a scheme, for example, in the case of DST. In that scheme, an industry and the science university can put up a proposal together to work on a particular innovation project.
But how many really come up?
No, many of them have come up. Today there are a large number of, we have invested more than 1,000 crores in many of these collaborative projects in which industries and the academia are putting up projects jointly. I'll give you an example. Recently we are running a project on development of coal to methanol production, because methanol is an alternate fuel. So we have a common project being done by IIT Delhi and Thermex to develop the coal gasification process using the India's high ash content coal. Now, if such a thing is being done, this has been funded by DST today. Almost 70 crore has been sanctioned for doing this kind of a project. They are setting up a pilot scale plant where IIT Delhi is developing the theoretical models and also pilot for manufacturing coal to syngas and from syngas to methanol. The entire process is being developed by them. This will be a real innovation and translation of technology from lab to the market.
The companies which are going to benefit out of this technology can be happy enough to participate.
Yes, Thermex is a company.
Like NTPC.
No, not only that. Thermex is a company. It's a private company making boilers, making variety of things for the thermal power plants. They are participating in this. One of the major reasons why we are not able to do this kind of a thing is, in the private sector, there is a lack of investment as far as research is concerned. They do not have that investment. The moment they invest even 10%, the government will be willing to present 20%. And then that combination can drive the innovation much faster.
I have next question rightly on that. Corporate leaders mandated to implement CSR seem to be not aware of all possible choices, including AIM, Atal Innovation Center.
Yes.
How do you attract the attention of corporate India towards AIM?
First thing is, corporate India has to understand that innovation will take place only if there is a knowledge hub. So in their own segment, wherever the industry is there, in the private or public, they have to have investment in research and development. And they have to create an ecosystem in the system. If there is no investment on research and development in the private sector, innovation will not thrive.
True.
Okay, even if you are taking technology from foreign outside world, for it to be subjected to incremental innovation and improving quality and quantity, you need R&D.
Yeah.
Because we did not do it for last 70 years, our industry has remained whatever has been given by the foreign suppliers.
True.
We have not made any increment. Whereas China has done incremental development over what they acquired from various countries like US and Europe and all that. And as a result, today, they have their own products, they have their own, as a result, their innovation index has gone up. They are around 45 or so in the world innovation scenario today. Now, we need the corporate leaders have to realize this part.
How do we induce the corporate leaders to realize this? There's a gap.
The only attraction for them is economics. That today's world, if you want to improve the economy of and the business value of your product, you have to innovate.
Yeah, true.
All world over people have understood that innovation is the only way economic growth can take place.
You have leapfrog growth.
You have to do a leapfrog only through innovation.
Yeah, true.
And this is the corporates have to realize that. And innovation cannot be done only on borrowed technology. Innovation has to be done on a technology base with incremental innovation, with very, very core innovation, creative innovation, or provided you have a R&D setup in your industry. You should work with universities, you should work with national laboratories, you should make use of the Government of India's various programs.
Yeah, but generally corporate India is not familiar with engaging with the government or the universities.
Sir, in today's world, to say that the corporate world is not aware, that only shows that they are
not willing.
They are not willing, exactly, because everything is available on the net, what the Government of India's schemes are doing. For example, DST schemes of innovation, whether it is Pradhan Mantri, this Yojana, or the Imprint, or Impress, or Spark, or Gyan, or whatever the schemes are there today, all these schemes are there on the net.
But there is a disconnect between the corporate India and also Government of India.
No, that should be actually handled by some of these federations. For example, you have a federation called CII.
FICCI,
you have got a federation like FICCI. Now, CII created a CII and DST and I think one more agency, they created a setup called Gita. No. Gita was created basically to bridge this gap, in which there was investment from DST, in which there was investment from the corporate world, and CII was supposed to manage this institution so that industry-driven innovation can take place.
Need-based.
Industry-driven means what is the demand of the industry. Industry-driven innovation can take place in this platform, this Gita. It has done some wonderful work in the past. I think similar institutions should be created where the industry's demand can be bridged along, and these federations can be the bridge between them. It could be FICCI, it could be CII, it could be any other agency, it could be Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, corporate leaders in India, unlike the West, hesitate to work with government because of image of government in the eye of the corporate leaders. How do you change this situation in India to make corporate leaders more comfortable to engage with the government?
Sir, I think the story of past is an old story, but it is no more valid. Today the Government of India's programs are so progressive in nature. The ease of doing business has considerably improved today. We have got single window everywhere. For the corporate world to find it difficult to work with Government of India, it is their own doing now. Yeah, if you want to keep your eyes closed to
inertia of the past, maybe.
Exactly, inertia of the past, or maybe you just carry a baggage.
No, but
there is enough opportunity for you to work with the Government of India. NITI Aayog itself is today in various domains actually asking people to come up, that we are throwing up challenges. For example, we are throwing up a challenge that 37 aspirational districts have to come to certain level of performance in terms of human competitiveness index. Now we are throwing up problems. How do you improve agriculture? How do you improve living conditions? So we are asking the people to come with proposals, and we are in a position to support that. We will support that in many ways. Now, these are the things which the Government of India is doing today. They are coming forward to invite proposals from the industry, from academia, from social organizations, from NGOs. To say that Government of India is difficult to work with, I think it is an old story. It's a carrying a baggage.
But this initiative of the government, is it really reaching out to the corporate India?
It is reaching out to corporate. Otherwise, why do you think how so many, for one Atal Innovation Mission, I want to tell you, we got more than 10,000 applications. If we are not reaching out, how did we get 10,000 applications?
No, India is a vast country.
Yeah.
So do you think media or media promotion, media to be as a vehicle to act as a positive catalyst for improvement in the engagement of corporate India and other stakeholders to make the better impact of Atal Innovation Mission (AIM)?
We already have. In fact, media is a very strong platform.
Yeah.
And today, Atal Innovation Mission is using the complete electronic media in a big way. For example, we have our own portal. We have got portal for the people to comment. We have got variety of programs which we are conducting with the media, electronic and print both. In wherever mentoring is going on, the media is reaching there. So the coverage of media of our Atal Innovation Mission is very extensive. And there is a continuous dialogue between the innovators, the mentors like NITI Aayog and other stakeholders with the media to promote the spirit of Atal Innovation Mission.
Actually, maybe the baggage of the past, the government has not been talking enough. That's a complaint. But now, as you say, a lot of things are happening. But maybe people are carrying the baggage of the past.
No, I think there should be basically, I want to tell you, it is not the baggage alone. The CSR, the corporate world is not willing.
Yeah, how to create the willingness?
Willing to innovate.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that they are so much used to cooked food.
Yeah, technology of somebody else.
Somebody else will do the technology, why should I bother about it? So they are not understanding that gone are the days of borrowing technology all the time and then thriving on economy. That's why are there so many companies who started off well, and with the passage of time, when the technology became obsolete, they are now down the drain because they never made any attempts to upgrade the technology.
Many companies perished.
Yes, they were perished because they never bothered to upgrade their technology. Yeah. They never intended to do any innovation.
The industry is swiped.
So these are the things what will happen. Same thing is happening with today's corporate world also. There are many who do not want to innovate. But those who want to innovate, they are already working with the government. I will tell you, there are agencies like Bharat Forge, which has worked with Department of Defense and developed a gun for the government of India. There are agencies like Larsen and Toubro, which are working with government of India and making UAVs, making aircraft parts and so on. There are industries like Mahindra, which are working. So there are many agencies which are...
Do you award them somehow? To recognize them?
Yes.
Because that will give them inducement.
We have a system of rewarding people who are doing well as far as innovation is concerned.
The corporate India needs another handholding.
Our Prime Minister Modi ji's all efforts, Innovation Summit Prime Minister Modi ji had, and we had more than 1,500 innovators who came and attended Innovation Summit organized by NITI Aayog. Achha. And in that summit, when the President Trump's daughter came, and we had US companies also participating, and we tried to put people together. When we found some young innovators coming and participating, there were some corporates coming and participating. So Government of India is having an outreach program to bring more and more industries into the innovation cycle, innovation fold. So I think the gap is being fulfilled by the initiatives of the Government of India. But yes, still there are companies who do not have innovation on their agenda.
That spirit, yes.
Yes.
No, Dr. Saraswat, it was excellent listening to you, and I'm sure our viewers will be happy to get the information that you shared. But beyond this, anything you would like to share with your readers of the magazine, CSR Vision?
I would like to mention that innovation is the engine of growth. And unless industries understand that economy will develop only if we do innovation. For innovation, you should have a strong technology base, you should generate knowledge, convert knowledge into wealth. That is innovation. And value, unless knowledge is converted into a value-added such a product, it is of no use. True. This is very important. So we need to create that kind of an ecosystem. And all schemes of Government of India are driving today for national laboratories, universities, industry partners to fathom the ecosystem of innovation which has come up in the country today.